Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video on the Mediabyte channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. It does honestly mean more to me than you would ever have any context for, because I love making YouTube videos. I like making things in general, so it really does mean a lot to me if you've clicked on this video. Another thing I wanted to mention about that, we are doing so much better on this YouTube channel and all the podcasts and all that stuff than I ever would have imagined. I genuinely am very, very surprised by how many views and how all that stuff that this channel has been getting since its creation, basically. So normally I would promote this earlier on in the video than I am right now. I made a separate, another YouTube channel, all the short films, all trailers for all the short films, all the behind the scenes stuff. All that stuff will be on one YouTube channel. You just can click it and find all the short films that I've made, all the trailers that I made, all that fun stuff. So it's at Mediabyte Productions on YouTube, Mediabyte Productions, type that in, or at Mediabyte Productions, and you'll find that there as well. So please go support that side of my life, because that's my biggest dream. It's always been my dream. That's why I own all these guys and all that and all this stuff, is because I want to make movies, and I do make movies. So the link should be in the description. If it's not, check out the link tree and you'll find it there. And with that, let's just jump into this video. I'm going to assume that most of you have been to the movies before and have at least gotten to the movies early enough to have seen the trailers and know that they play before the movies. So if you really don't know, that's called marketing for these films. It's produced by a marketing team, usually for the films, normally. Sometimes a director or a specific studio will create a trailer for the film if they're trying to hide certain things or whatever else. There is more ways to market a film than to put a trailer before the biggest blockbuster of the summer, which is how a lot of companies do it. So there is something very, very interesting that's happened because of the internet and its direct connection to the audience that the internet provides. So which again really didn't exist before the internet, because the only way to access the audience was through newspapers, television ads, or trailers before movies. But with the internet, you have social media, you have ads on YouTube videos, hint hint, or there's so many ways to advertise for a film. But today we are going to be discussing two films that really took the age of the internet and knew what to do with it. But these films are not in any particular order, it's just the way that I wrote them, so one's not better than the other, just two different ways of marketing films in the age of the internet. So I was personally too young to have experienced this when it came out, although I would have greatly enjoyed this marketing if I was old enough to have been on the internet when it came out. So we are talking about the marketing for The Dark Knight. I'm only going to say this once because it does apply to both films, but I didn't really get to truly experience the internet until 2016 or 2017, when I was 13 and 14, so a lot of that I don't have any real, fully cognizant memories of the internet before that point. And 2007, when this marketing happened, I was too young to understand anything that was going on when it comes to film marketing or anything like that. The entire story for The Dark Knight's marketing starts with a company called 42 Entertainment. They do interactive marketing and just marketing in general. They had done something for Nine Inch Nails called Year One that I don't know much information about, but Christopher Nolan had actually seen that marketing and asked them to do work for The Dark Knight. The first thing these people did is they made "We Believe Harvey Dent" posters and put them up in comic book shops, and then spread Joker cards all over the floors in all these really, really famous, really popular, well-known, very, very well-known comic book shops, and spread Joker cards, playing cards, all over the floors in all of these separate comic book shops. So they found a website, so people who found these posters found a website called WeBelieveInHarveyDent.com, which then sent you to a website with basically the same promo image of the poster, but Joker had kind of tagged it and said, "Give me your email," and was written below it. So then they would email the photo, email that email address, and it would unlock 1 pixel of an image. So eventually, which is crazy, that was the way they unlocked the first look at the Joker being Heath Ledger's version of the Joker. It took 97,000 pixels, so 97,000 emails, to fully see the entire picture. So people would try to do like email scripts and things like that to send emails massively to the email address, but the people who are in charge of the ARG, basically the augmented reality game, stopped scripts from being used, and they would basically disqualify if they found out that the scripts were being used, and so they would stop it, and it worked. So then people would have to go to different web forums online and can try to convince people to send emails to that address, so that way they could actually unlock the image. So then they were like, okay, wait, Comic-Con is coming up. This is one of the things that I think is one of my favorite marketing things probably ever. So they got 11,000 $1 bills. So then they defaced the front of it, then kind of tagged it like the Joker does in the movies, and wrote "Why so serious" at the bottom of it. So initially, just imagine, put yourself in this situation. Initially, they wanted to take the bag of money, the $11,000, to the third floor of the San Diego Convention Hall, and drop $11,000 off $1 bills from the third floor to the ground below, and then escape with no one knowing where they came from. So, of course, Comic-Con wouldn't just let them dump $11,000 onto the floor, because that's pretty insane. So what they would actually do is Comic-Con let them, because it's actual money that they're being used, it's not fake money, it's actual money, they would disperse the defaced bills to different, at the food stands or at the different merch tables and all that kind of stuff for change, right? So then you'd be, buying a hot dog, for example, and you pay $5, the hot dog is only $4. You get $1 back, you just put it in your pocket and you move on. Then you go home, you open up your wallet or wherever else, and there it is. There's the hot dog, and there's there you open up the wallet, and there it is. There's the defaced Joker bill, and you have no idea how it got in your wallet in the first place. The "Why so serious" at the bottom of the dollar bills would send them to a website that had a GPS location, a date, and a time. So I found this IGN article, which is where this is all coming from, and I'm going to read it the way the interview says. So you're not going to see me, but you will see and you will hear my voice. At 9 a.m., we dragged a bunch of Batman fans to a little park across the street. We assumed we were pretty close, that, a couple hundred people would show up, but we thought we would maybe have a couple thousand people online. And it ended up being 650,000 people. So the people in the park are told to look up as soon as they get there, and of course 5 jets fly by writing a phone number in the sky. And when they call it, they hear this recording of a hostage situation. They're told to meet us, and then SWAT vans pretty much across the street were waiting for them with makeup cases for everybody. It didn't matter how old people were or what they were wearing, they'd put on this makeup and turn into the Joker. Within minutes, we had hundreds and hundreds of these people's babies in Joker makeup. Now it's a scavenger hunt, and it's the biggest thing ever at Comic-Con, and Nolan isn't even there. So this is my words now. But they literally then picked someone to kidnap, brought them into the car, and told them to lie down in a ditch. Then they pretended that he had been dead by the Joker, and then made a website in real time that said the Joker had been killed by the Mafia, and made the website in real time. The next thing they did was go to random cities across the country, and they involved different cities across multiple in the world. And basically what they did is it was to be like, find an A here, a Q here, a C here. It's very in detailed. Go find the IGN article if you want more information on it, because it's very, very detailed. But basically they would look for an A over here, look for a Q over there, and if you found out where all the different stuff was, they would make out a full website URL. So then they were planning to transition over to being more focused on Harvey Dent, because of the Joker was getting really dark. The whole kidnapping thing was getting dark, and it was getting a very dark image of what the movie was like. But when they had already been planning to do that, there was the unfortunate death of Heath Ledger almost like right when they were deciding to kind of stop the Joker side of the ARG. So then they took a break for a while and then came back with the Harvey Dent side of everything. This is one of those marketing moments in history where you can never get back what it was like to be there in that time, because nothing like that really exists anymore because of 1,000 different reasons. I think it's just something really special and that nobody would really get to experience that same way as much, at least anymore, especially the in real life part of everything. Well, let's move on to another movie that I think does this perfectly. And again, the entire premise of the movie, of the time and date of the internet, I guess I should say, the time and date of the internet really makes this film once in a blue moon that it captures an exact marketing scheme, almost like Longlegs in a way did that same exact thing, which Longlegs is a whole nother video's marketing we could talk about. So the Blair Witch Project is probably what most of you thought about when I said, when I brought up the fact that I was talking about movie marketing. So let's discuss what about this film was, what the marketing was, why it works, and what the heck it was going on in the marketing world of the Blair Witch Project. Well, number one, the cast and crew, everyone else acted like this was 100% real thing that really happened to real people. And the way they did that was the cast was paid to hide and not do any press or be seen in public up to the release of the movie. This worked so well that the mother of Heather Donahue was actually sent condolence cards about the death of her child. So that's like the first thing. But why did people think this movie actually happened? Well, at Sundance, the film was sent to them with no credits. It was just a VHS tape, no credits. It was just a raw version of the film. They actually ended up putting missing posters up around everywhere where Sundance was being held, which I think is crazy. Which, side note a little bit, they actually had to take those posters down rather quickly because there was actually missing people that had been gone missing around where Sundance was being held, which I think is wild timing. They also had created a website for the film. This is one of the first of its kind, and it actually had people looking at evidence, photos, and audio clips, and some little videos of that didn't really make it into the final film. Most of it was mostly just like extra film that they had recorded. They filmed for 3 days, I think it was, and some of the footage didn't make it into the film, and they used that on the website. There was also a documentary. This I think really sealed the deal for the legend of the Blair Witch, because it felt like it was something that hadn't actually been a part of the film. It was a secondary thing that played on the Sci-Fi Channel. So initially the actual film would have had the documentary before the film played, so it would have been The Legend of the Blair Witch and then the Blair Witch Project, but none of that actually was real. But they decided that it would be best if they played that part of everything separately, which they eventually did, and it works out much better than you would have probably assumed. So this is a very basic internet marketing campaign, but it was the first of its kind, and you can never take that away from it. It scared people, it made people come out to the theaters, and it made people feel involved in the legend of the Blair Witch in one way or the other. This is a very basic internet campaign, but it shows how publicity of a film really impacts its impact on cinema and film as a whole. So that is it. What is your favorite movie marketing campaign? It made you feel good. It made you feel like funny. It was funny. It was fun to do. It was fun to be involved in. What is it? I was too young for either one of these, to be honest with you, because I wasn't born for the Blair Witch Project and I was just too young for The Dark Knight, because I honestly would have absolutely adored The Dark Knight's marketing, because I think that was really, really awesome. I would have been everywhere looking for those cards, those little Joker cards and all that kind of stuff. But alas, I had to enter kindergarten, and so I couldn't be out searching for Joker cards and dressed up like the Joker If you want to keep up to date with me and all that stuff, you can go to TikTok, Media by Co. Instagram is Media by Company. All the podcasts on the podcast network /it. We have Diary of a Indie Filmmaker. I talk about all my little art stuff, all my film stuff, all my filmmaking stuff. /it is a horror movie podcast. So all horror movies. Right now we're doing Final Destination, and then I am still taking notes. If you have any ideas, you can send it to mediabypodcastnetwork@gmail.com for whatever, franchise you're interested in me covering next, which I am down to kind of do anything I can pick, but I'd also want to know what you think. We also have Exploring Cinema. You can go listen to those podcast episodes, or the Mediabyte Podcast Network, or the Mediabyte Podcast, which is all things podcasts, all just general media stuff. So, movies, music, all that stuff, not a specific genre of movies. And I've always wanted to be a director, always wanted to be a writer. I am a director and I am a writer, but I always want to be a professional director-writer, one that makes money making movies. So if you want to help me follow that dream, which I would deeply appreciate, Media by Productions, it's all my short films, all my trailers, all that stuff. It's right there. You can go find it. I would really deeply appreciate that, because that is what I've always wanted to do, and it's what I'm pursuing. So thank you all. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy all the videos that I do here, because I do deeply appreciate all the stuff that you guys do, and everything that you click, watch, all that stuff. I genuinely, it touches my heart. So I couldn't imagine not having a platform like you guys to make videos for, because this is a lot of fun for me. It's something I look forward to every week. So thank you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.